Smooth operator. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and I've been away for a week, so I thought I'd do a quick video on some albums that have come out that I thought are worth talking about, worth checking out, that some people have been talking about, and I thought I'd just give my fairly short opinions on them over here. First album I'm going to talk about is the United States of Horror by the band Horror, or HO9909, and they are this kind of like hip hop but bit more like rockier in a sense. They're like if Limp Bizkit were ever a good band, they're kind of like that. But I've heard a few of their like material, some of their material before, but I wasn't expecting it to be anything quite like this. It's quite relentless. A lot of these songs are like absolute bangers and fucking anthems. They're just insane. I do think that they have a lot to offer in this regards because there isn't really much out there like this at all, I don't think. And I think horror are actually pretty decent when it comes to lyricism as well. They talk quite a bit on politics. They sound a bit angry on some of the songs. I do like their style. I do say it's worth checking out. Just maybe they could have diversified things a little bit because some of the songs kind of felt like the same instrumental and the same kind of vocal style in each one. But these guys are definitely worth your time. I think they're quite interesting to listen to. If you saw these live, I'm pretty sure it would be an insane show. I'd love to see these guys live. And yeah, make sure you check this album out. Next album I'm going to be talking about is the band Tricot with their album 3, and these guys are a math rock Japanese band. They're very intricate with their rhythms and their styles. It's really quite good, like good music. I think that in terms of math rock anyway, I think these guys are some of the best around. But unfortunately, I think this was a little bit underwhelming. I felt like they were just doing the same old thing on most of the tracks. It was a lot less exciting than their last album, which was titled The or THE. I don't really know. Never heard it being said out loud, but that was way better. I think I enjoyed that a lot more, and I think I was just expecting them to expand on their sound with this new album, but they kind of didn't, which is fine. It's still a decent album. I think fans of this band will enjoy it. But other than that, if you like math rock, then definitely check this out. Yeah. And the next album I'm going to be talking about is Wavves with their album You're Welcome. I've never really been into Wavves at all. I've never saw the hype for them, even back in their King of the Beach days. It was quite beachy, sort of like, a bit like the Drums, but a bit more lo-fi and washed out. I thought the Drums were a better band though, and Wavves didn't really do that much for me. And then they've kind of put out some more albums since then. They've gotten cleaner in their sound and production since that album, like with each release. And yeah, I feel like, the vocals have just gotten whinier. I've not really enjoyed much of what they've done. They're not really doing that much with the genre, but there were a few good tracks on this album, I think, that I liked way more than I expected to. The closing track, then I think, yeah, there was a few other songs I thought were pretty damn good as well. But other than that, this band isn't really that exciting. I don't think. I don't see the hype for them. They're not really doing anything that other pop punk bands do, but Wavves seem to get the pass in a way by critics and stuff. I don't really see why, but they're okay. It's a decent album. Check it out if you like pop punk and beachy sort of music summary type stuff. And the next album I'm going to be talking about is The Basement by a band called Push to Talk. They reached out to me personally and asked if I could give them a little review or talk about their music in some kind of way, give them some feedback. I thought it was pretty cool. I like that bands have started doing that with me. I think that's pretty damn cool. And they're an electronic trio, I believe, and they make some pretty interesting electronic music. They add some sound snippets across the album, which felt a little bit out of place, some of them, but I feel like they were kind of just trying to do as much as they could because they're fairly new, and I think they were just attempting new sounds and new ideas, which I do appreciate a lot because I do think there was a lot of great ideas on this album. They used a lot of piano and keyboards and stuff like that. I think that includes that incorporates a good element of styles to their sound. But as for electronic music, this is pretty damn good. I do wish it was a bit bolder and stood out a bit more. It was a bit louder and kind of they added some more instruments to the mix. But there were some great songs on this one, like Making Noise. I think they just have some excellent ideas for electronic music, and it would be great to see them getting bigger and added to some kind of big label because I think by the time they get to the next album, they'll have sorted out some of these blander sounds because there were some on the album that just didn't really do much for me, but they every now and then there was just this sound that really worked well, and they've got the ideas there. I think they're worth checking out, and yeah, I think if you like Orteka or Flying Lotus, then there's no reason why you can't check this out because there is a lot to like here. And yeah, I do want to see where they go in the future, definitely. And finally, I'm going to be talking about Brutalism by Idols. Now, I know this came out months ago, so I'm very late to this, but I did want to give this a proper review. But I feel like it's just so late now that it would be pointless to talk about it, considering everyone's pretty much said what I've said about the album so far. But I just wanted to mention it here because it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, there aren't many punk bands around that make me feel like punk music is starting to get somewhere again, but Idols, I feel like, are that band who have broke out in a massive way that I like gets me excited for what they can do in the future because some of the lyrics on this album are some of the best lyrics I've heard in so long, just on any album. But in terms of punk music, this is what it's about, just the way they kind of, they're sarcastic and the way they just rip apart like elements of like culture and stuff like that that are just really clever. And it's easily going to go down as one of my favourites of the year, without a doubt. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. I'm sure you will have by now. It came out months ago, like I've already said. And yeah, check out some of these albums, as I've said. They are pretty good, even if I'm not absolutely in love with them, except for the Idols one, of course. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. More reviews are going to be coming because I'm back at home now. And yeah, have a good day.